everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. You read the title. You saw the thumbnail. There is no beating around the bush with this one. But actually, there is a tiny bit of beating around the bush. My apologies. I do want to apologize for not uploading in the last few days. But you guys read the title. You saw the thumbnail. Let's get right into it. 3 pros and 2 cons of carrying a full-size gun or full-size handgun. Can't remember how I worded it. Obviously, you're not carrying rifles concealed at least. But let me go ahead and clear this. Oh, well. You guys can see, clear. All right. Now, we're going to start with pro number 1. Pro number 1 is you get a better capacity than you would with a compact handgun or a subcompact size handgun. For example, my Glock Model 45, currently what I'm carrying right now, 17 plus 1. If I want to, I can put a 19 round mag on here. If I want to, I could put a 33 round mag on here, but of course we can all agree that would be a bit ridiculous. Not exactly running around with a 33 round mag as my first mag. But moving on, you get a good capacity out of a full-size handgun, which gives you more chances to stay into the fight and possibly help keep yourself safe. I've never heard anybody on the planet say, wow, I just had too much ammo with me in that gunfight. Man, it's just never happened. I hate to break it to you guys, it has never happened, and it probably never will happen. Why? Because if you have enough ammo, you can stay in the gunfight for a good enough while and possibly keep yourself alive. Now, moving on from pro number 1. Pro number 2, they are very easy to shoot. I mean, of course, granted, I also have a Holosun and a light on my gun, but I can tell you guys right now, you're going to have a much easier time shooting a full-size handgun than you would any other size handgun. That's just common sense. Some people might argue, oh, well, you know, my Shield Plus carry comp shoots pretty smooth, and I'm sure it does. However, it's not going to shoot as smooth as a full-size handgun does. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. The heavier the gun is, the more weight there is to absorb the recoil, which makes the gun easier to shoot. Therefore, you're going to keep your sights on target much easier, or at least you should be able to. If you're practicing and you're able to, manage the recoil of the firearm that you're carrying, you should be able to keep your sights more on target, which kind of leads us into pro number 3. Pro number 3 is that there is a longer sight radius. Now, some people might consider this kind of dumb, right? And I'm sure I'm going to hear it. However, with the longer sight radius, you get a better chance for accuracy. Why is that? Because the further, or at least the greater the sight distance is, or the sight radius, I can't remember exactly how it's worded right now. I'm tired. But moving on. The further distance from your rear sight to your front sight, the greater it is, the more accurate the firearm is going to be. Why is that? Well, there's a couple of reasons to it. A tighter sight radius, that's what I was thinking of. There we are. A tighter sight radius and a longer barrel. Longer barrels are going to be more accurate, plain and simple. Now, we got to move into con number 1. And yes, guys, I am more than aware this isn't exactly going to be a very long video, but I'm doing multiple, hopefully, if I have time. Con number 1 is something that a lot of people should worry about, but oftentimes don't, which is very surprising, which is printing. With a full-size handgun, I mean, especially in my case, because I have a light and a dot on my gun, it's not exactly just going to disappear. You need to wear the right style of clothing. You need to make sure that you're not exactly printing and making it obvious that you have a gun on your hip or wherever you're carrying it. Some people don't carry on their waist, but I at least carry 3 o'clock on my hip. Moving on from that, though, printing can lead to a lot of issues. whether you want to admit it or not, there are just some crazy people out there who would see you printing and call the police on you. As a matter of fact, somebody who that has happened to has commented under my videos saying, yo, this has happened to me, dude. And it's insane. It's mind-blowing. It's truthfully disgusting. That's besides the point, though. With a full-size handgun, you are going to print a bit more. So you need to be aware of that. You need to wear the right kind of clothing to avoid printing. You need to make sure that you have a good belt, that you're not exactly wearing some super tight pants or some super tight shirts. You want to make sure that you have the right kind of clothing, the right kind of accessories, so that way you can carry this firearm. Now, moving on to con number 2. Con number 2 might not be a big deal for some of you guys, but I've at least noticed this, and it's not the greatest feeling in the world, which is discomfort. Now, it's not like, oh, well, I'm not comfortable with carrying a full size. I mean, truthfully speaking, what it is, it's about comfort. It's truthfully just about comfort, how comfortable the gun is to carry. Sometimes it can be a pain to carry a full size. And I'm speaking from experience. Some of you guys might be wondering, well, what have you been carrying recently that's making you say this? You know, what do you think I've been carrying? Recently, it's the Glock Model 45, but before that, it was my Dagger. I mean, and that's almost the same size, just doesn't have a dot and a light on it. I've been carrying a full-size gun now for like the last almost 6 months. So I can speak from some level of experience. Sometimes they can just be uncomfortable to carry. But all the pros that you get out of it, it's easier to shoot. You get a better capacity out of them. And last but not least, you are more likely than not going to be more accurate with a full-size handgun than you would be with any other size handgun. There's no debating that. You do have to consider those 2 cons, though. You will probably be printing more unless you are wearing the right kind of clothing. And also, it might just be uncomfortable to carry a full-size handgun. It is added weight. It sometimes might, poke somewhere that's going to pinch a nerve, whatever. It sometimes is just uncomfortable carrying a full size. But you need to weigh out the pros and cons yourself and decide if it's worth it for you. Because me personally, I've been carrying a full-size handgun again for almost the last 6 months every day. And I have just gotten used to it. And now I have a full-size handgun at my disposal if I ever need it. But with that being said, I think that about wraps it up for this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all in. Whether or not you agree with me about these 3 pros and 2 cons about carrying a full-size handgun, whether or not you at least liked the content I put in this video or not, go ahead and comment down below. Make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.